The F-15 is not your average fighter jet. First flying in 1972, it has literally never stopped. But what actually made it so great? I have no clue. But somehow, I need to make a plane that outperforms it. This is the ABWP-MX. It outperforms the F-15 in almost every single way. Except for being real, but who cares? Let me be clear, the F-15 is still one of the best fighter jets of all time. But it's 50 years old, and it's pretty much a dinosaur. In 50 years, we went from turning in a circle to the F-104, which actually can't do that, but... And in the more recent 50 years, we've made progress on stealth and radars and avionics, but who cares about that stuff? So I decided to make a plane that does the F-15's job, but better. Let's start with what the F-15 is better at. Missiles. Yeah, that's it. It's only missiles. The difference between the Eagle and my plane is that I didn't shove a hardpoint on every square inch of the plane. Regardless, it can still carry 16 missiles, which you really shouldn't need more than. In addition to this, my plane is a multi-role, which means you don't want to carry 16 missiles. You want to carry some bombs, air-to-ground missiles, and a couple air-to-air missiles so you don't die. Now let's look at what my plane does better. Range. On internal fuel alone, it can fly 1,200 nautical miles with a combat load. The Eagle can barely scrape 700. This frees up 2 hardpoints for weapons and not fuel. Another advantage of my plane is that it has a much higher turn rate. Its turn rate is comparable to the F-16 and not the F-15. In a dogfight, this means it'll get its nose around first and be able to fire off the first missile. In addition to this, the plane can use more wing area for carrying weapons. My plane is also faster than the Eagle. It can fly at Mach 2.7, where the Eagle can only fly at Mach 2.5. Another comparable thing between the fighter jets is the engine. My engine kinda sucks with its afterburner on, but it's incredibly efficient with the afterburner off. Now let's talk about how I actually made it better. Starting with the wings, I pretty much only added a lurks, but this alone improved the turn rate so much. The lurks does 2 things to improve turn rate. It shifts the center of pressure forwards, and it also induces vortices going down the wing. I also went for a wing type more similar to the F-18, which also outturns the F-15. Let's pause and look at its nose. Yeah, that might be a nose. It might be. If you look behind the pilot, you'll see a weapons system operator, or a WISO. This guy pretty much launches the missiles, finds targets, he does all that stuff that the pilot shouldn't be focusing on. The F-15 Strike Eagle also has a WISO, so this isn't actually specific to mine. Next, we need to talk about the engines. These probably changed how this jet flew the most. The engines are stronger when dry than the F-15's engine, but weaker with the afterburner. So what this means is it has a lower maximum thrust, but a much better cruising capability because its dry thrust is higher. But this doesn't inherently lower its top speed. It's more aerodynamic than the F-15, which definitely helps when it's at Mach 2.7. I ended up upgrading the engine, which increased its range drastically. It can fly from New York City to Austin, Texas in 1 tank of gas. It can fly from Rome to Berlin and back without refueling. And keep in mind, this is on internal fuel alone. When you add in fuel tanks, you can fly from Paris to Berlin to Rome to Barcelona to London and back to Paris without running out of fuel. And I didn't even max out the hard points for fuel. I added 3 drop tanks for this test. My plane's radar is massive. It is 12 kilowatts. For reference, the F-14's radar was a measly 10 kilowatts. Unfortunately, I can't find actual numbers for the F-15, so it's a tie. I'm out of stuff to talk about, so here's a build montage. And here it is, the finished plane. It is time to fly out.